Ready? He have far to go still.
11:07 on 103.1. This segment comes to you with the best wishes of Batson and Associates, supporting health naturally. Dr. Jason Batson with us this morning. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. A bit busy as usual. Too busy.
As usual.
I'm convinced there are not enough hours in the day. But
and not enough days.
And not enough days, But as someone was saying the other day, they was talking about people like Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all these people now. And they say, well, they have 24 hours and you have 24 hours, so where's your excuse? You know how it is.
You'll figure it out
in time. You got to do what you got to do. So, of course, always a pleasure to be here. We on all our live platforms right now. So we're on Facebook, Batson and Associates Limited. On Instagram, we are Batson and Associates TT. And on YouTube, we are Batson and Associates Trinidad. So always a pleasure. Pleasant good morning to the listeners of 103.1 FM. I always had a pause, like on too many radio stations, because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Right?
Yeah, well, just remember, it's the first and the final.
The first, definitely. So, of course, some news for you guys. I know we had a little issue with our eye drops, the eye optics formula, but God's willing, we should have that by next week, please God, in stock full. And we will also have Nerve Restore, because I know a lot of persons who experience excellent sleep, rest, recovery with that product. We were out because the demand was so popular. And the good thing about it is that everyone who used the product wanted more. Okay, so God's willing, next week is already here. Just some clearance we need to see about, and we should have that for you in stores, God's willing, by Monday, Tuesday. The eye drops for the latest Wednesday, please God. All right, so keep that in mind. Last program, we had an interesting program. We did discuss circulation. We were actually able to touch on diabetes as well. So today, one of the things I wanted to speak about briefly is the topic of thyroid. And again, this thyroid problem is coming up over and over, especially with females primarily, but the men now are encountering this problem. And some years ago, you didn't find men really have problems with the thyroid. Thyroid issues was primarily concentrated, in the realm of females, simply because of the aspect associated with menstruation and that type of thing. Because what happens to a lot of women, especially during menopause, post-menopause, or even pre-menopause, you find that it's easy to have a thyroid issue. One of the things that I want persons to really pay attention to as it relates to thyroid issues is the particular issue associated with one's diet. Because you find thyroid issues are primarily linked to persons who have issues with iodine. But a lot of people do not know that it also has a lot to do with zinc and selenium deficiency. Right, so the possibility exists you may have a problem with absorption and proper assimilation of food, which is something that I've spoken about on numerous occasions, because you'll find a lot of individuals, because of different lapse, for want of a better expression, in the diet, you may be deficient in certain minerals, and as a result of that, you may encounter these problems. So that's something that you need to pay attention to. What do we do at Batson and Associates to address the problem associated with the thyroid? Well, there are a number of things that we actually able to do when we do the live nutritional blood cell analysis, the magnetic resonance analysis. That, of course, is going to give us an indication of what is really going on as it relates to various imbalances in the body. So if you have problems with minerals, we're going to pick up that. If you have issues associated with liver, because the liver plays a significant role as it relates to the endocrine system and the digestive system. So a lot of the times you may have an issue where the liver is not functioning optimally, and as a result of that, it contributes to issues with the thyroid. So that's something that you need to pay very, very close attention to. Okay, keep in mind we do have the question aspect. So if you need to ask any questions as regards to what we're discussing or the products and services at Batson and Associates, you could of course feel free to do that as well.
Yep. So if you'd like to get in touch with Dr. Jason Batson at this time, maybe you have a question you'd like for him to address on the show, you can WhatsApp the studio on 299-4103, and there are multiple ways that you can get in contact with him at the offices as well as social media.
Definitely. So those the contact information rather for the office would be 2228261. That's 2228261, as well as 3149975. That is 3149975. And those locations were located on the first floor of Money Talks building. That is Money Talks building in Montrose, Chaguanas. We're also on the corner of Ramsamouch Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Dede, as well as Red Edge Mall, Western Main Road, St. James, and the Triangle Building in Scarborough, Tobago. Those numbers again, 2228261, as well as 3149975. We have a question.
Yeah, we have a question. Does the foot detox help with the problems with diabetes?
Yeah, it does. The thing is, the foot detox would help with a number of issues in the body. A detox on the whole. Now, you know, there's a lot of debate about foot detox, whether it's something that is factual, whether it really works. And of course, you're going to hear people telling you, well, no, it doesn't. I am in complete disagreement, and I'll tell you why. Personally, we have been doing foot detox over 12 years, maybe about 13 years now. If it didn't used to work, believe me, I would not have had any customers or clients by now. You don't think? The thing is, and so much so, I remember challenging someone. I said, if it is your thing, the foot detox is not viable, if it doesn't work, well, I'll do up a document. Seeing that you're a skeptic, you will sign it, and the document will basically state, we will give you a foot detox an hour every day, and we will see how long it lasts. That's what the document would be. And the reason why I told the individual that is because when you do a foot detox, the largest pores in your body under your feet. Now, you have to understand, with integrative medicine, we don't only deal with the physical body, you know. You have 5 different bodies. I mean, a lot of persons who know me would have heard me say this on numerous occasions. You have your spiritual body, which is the first body. Then you have your supramental body, which is your subconscious mind. Then you have your mental body, which is your conscious mind. Then you have your vital body, which is your energy body. And your last body is your physical body. So a lot of people do not understand. There's something called downward causation. And downward causation basically means that if the upper bodies are out of balance, they essentially cause problems going down. So if your spiritual body out of balance, eventually your subconscious mind will be out of balance. And then eventually your conscious mind will be out of balance. And then eventually your vital or your energy body will be out of balance. And the last body is your physical body, and then that just goes scrap. So a lot of persons have to understand that in dealing with the body in its entirety, you have to do that to get the results that you're looking for. So whether you're dealing with diabetes, you're dealing with hypertension, you're dealing with cardiovascular disease, you're dealing with hormonal imbalance in women, you have to always address the root aspect of the problem. Now, fundamentally, the root aspect is always going to involve the gastrointestinal system. There's no probably, might be, must be about it. If you're dealing with cancer, gastrointestinal. You have, now I'm not saying that is the only organ system that needs to be addressed, but inflammatory response or inflammation, which is the root cause of all disease, fundamentally comes from your gastrointestinal system. A doctor would do a test. If it is you have inflammation, and just yesterday I was dealing with a client because I worked Chaguanas yesterday. And one of the things that I told this client, I sent them to do a blood test for me, and I asked for 2 things. And what I wanted was something known as a C-reactive protein test, and I wanted an ESR. The ESR is an acronym for erythrocyte sedimentation ratio. And then there's something known as the CRP, which is C-reactive protein. Now, there is a particular value that you're supposed to have, and once you within the value, it means you're normal. Most people who have, if you get anybody with lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, fibromyalgia, cancer, 99.9% of the times, if you do a C-reactive test and you do a erythrocyte sedimentation ratio, your numbers are going to be higher than it's supposed to. What does that mean? It means that your inflammatory response, because remember, inflammation is normal and natural. You know? Inflammation is your body's natural means of dealing with certain things that actually protects the body. Your immune system plays a significant role in the inflammatory equation, for want of a better expression. But when that inflammation is too much, it contributes or creates an environment that is conducive to disease. There isn't anybody with lupus. You go and do a C-reactive test and a erythrocyte sedimentation ratio test, and you're going to see your numbers are accelerated, which is why doctors would normally recommend steroids for you. They would recommend the most popular corticosteroid which is prednisolone. The problem with prednisolone is that you cannot use, or you should not use that for an extended period of time. You are going to end up in problems. You're going to end up with diabetes. You might end up blind. You're definitely going to end up with some musculoskeletal problems, so osteoporosis, all types of things. So in my opinion, that doesn't really make any sense. Why would I now have one problem and go and take something and end up with 15 other problems? To me personally, that doesn't make any sense. If you want to do that, well, all well and good. If you go, I tell people, go with God. But common sense make before book. It means that you need to address what is the root cause of the problem. And that is what we do at Batson and Associates. Is it easier? Not necessarily, because there's some discipline involved. You have to have a routine, you know, have to develop a protocol. We have to put you on a particular diet, which is not really a bad diet, you know. It's just simply things that you're supposed to be eating in the first place. And that's where it comes in. So keep in mind, we do have that special with the blood analysis, with the scan, and that is available at any of the offices. Tobago, we will deal with you all shortly. We're just waiting to finish, get that last piece of equipment, and God's willing, we should have that by the mid-April for the latest, God's willing. But again, you could always call the office, get the information, and that applies to any disease that you're dealing with, even the ones that are quite uncommon. Okay?
All right, so we have another question for you. What causes imbalance in the head?
Well, okay, I'm going with the assumption that they're most likely speaking about dizziness. If balance, you feel like you're to fall. There are a number of reasons. Most of the time, it has to do with insufficient blood flow to the brain. And insufficient blood flow to the brain could be caused by two things primarily. Some sort of structural misalignment or malalignment issue. So it means something is out, most likely in the spinal column or in the musculoskeletal system. It's pressing on nerves, and as a result of that, or it's pressing on or impeding circulation, and as a result of that, you end up with a nerve issue. One of the other reasons could be poor circulation to the brain, and that, of course, is something that we could easily rectify. At Batson Associates, I always try my best to ensure that we have a large range of products for circulation. So we carry circulation tea. There's a product we have called Advanced Circulation, which is a capsule. The Santulan is also very good for circulation because Santulan has persimmon leaves in it. It also has something known as Nigella sativia, which is black seed. And those help with circulation, respiratory problems, that type of thing. In addition to that, we also have Circulation Plus, which is a liquid product that we weren't getting since the pandemic, but since things has eased up, God's willing, we should be getting that by the end of April. So you have things that could help in that circulation situation. There's also a product that we carry, which is a special omega that has astaxanthin in it. The only people who cannot use that is if you have allergy to shell food, or if it is you are a 7-day Adventist. So it means you do not consume specific shell type crustacean, that type of thing. Other than that, anyone could use it and you would get some benefit. Optimizer is also a very good product because Optimizer is a product that we use. It's a free radical scavenger. So what it does, it actually goes in the body and scavenges and looks for free radical. So it improves the entire balance or try to attain homeostasis in the body.
Okay, so we have another question. By the way, listeners, if you would like to throw a question at Dr. Batson on the show, you can WhatsApp the studio, 299-4103. This is regarding the eye optics formula. Can the eye drops prevent glaucoma?
Yeah, definitely. The eye optics formula, in fact, all the eye drops that we carry at Batson Associates, we have 3 that we usually carry in stock right now, which is the eye optics formula. The eye optics formula is primarily for any eye situation. So if you have problems with dry eyes, if you have glaucoma, which is high ocular pressure, whether it's open angle or close angle glaucoma, that product is going to help you. It's going to help for detached retina, which is bleeding behind the eyes. It's going to help for retinotis pigmentosa. Any situation you have with your eyes is going to help you with it. Simply because the product is designed to improve circulation in not only the brain, but circulation in the eye. It also helps to an extent in removing what is known as metabolic waste from the eyes themselves. What a lot of persons do not understand, based on anatomy and physiology, your eyes have the ability to capture a lot of rubbish. So rubbish gets in your body in 3 ways. Respiratory, so nasal, ocular, through your eyes, and dermally, which is through your skin, right? Now, through the skin, it could actually get in, so cream, perfumes, these lovely ladies who like to color your hair and all them orange, blue, red, you know. Yeah. Anytime you want to be a a unicorn and them kind of thing, you need to be very careful because those colors, treatments, a lot of treatments that they use, even makeup. I mean, this might sound bad, but makeup is really a nasty thing, you know. Talk bad manners. Yeah, I know the ladies and I'm going to watch me some cookie eye and thing. But you know, because women who don't, and I don't know, Karen, if you might bear me out here, women have specific routines that they should normally do when they wear makeup. Not so? You're not supposed to go and sleep with makeup on your face, even though I know people that do that. You're not supposed to do that because you're going to block up your pores, all those things on your eye. You're looking. Some old ladies look full of problems, you know. Most women who end up with problems with their eyes is because of makeup and because of doing things to their hair. I know of ophthalmologists who have warned women, they have stopped them. Do not color your hair, do not use straighteners, do not use those things because they get in the body via your scalp. You see this here? There's a reason why when you was younger, your parents used to rub your head with coconut oil and things. You know? Because you know, as a baby, in terms of development, your skull is one of the things, your skull only fully develops at a later age. You know? I can't remember the exact age. There's a hole in here, you know, when you're born. And eventually, the skull actually fuses properly together. But dermally, things can get into your body, the palms of your hand, the sole of your feet. These parts inside of here, behind your in front of your elbows, behind your knees. Which is why usually people who have things like psoriasis and eczema, most people who have serious skin conditions, look at those parts of the body. You usually get it in your scalp, you usually get it inside of your elbows there, in between the back of your knees. And that is because that part of your skin is basically called your integumentary system. And that tends to be more sensitive and it is more open to a lot of toxins and that type of thing. So it means that you need to start dealing with that. And as I was mentioning with the eye drop, it is actually helps because it's a detoxifier for the eyes. We also carry an eye drop, which is MSM, which helps significantly in opening the pores in the eyes and removing a lot of metabolic waste. And metabolic waste is waste that comes into the body as a result of metabolism. So you have different types of waste in the body. You know, metabolic waste is usually common to everyone. And then you have other waste that is common to maybe where you work, your environment, your diet, that type of thing.
Another question for you. Do you carry any products to help improve memory and retention?
Yeah, of course, definitely. There's a product that we carry called Cerebral Formula. We didn't have it for a while, but we have gotten it now and we have a large amount in stock. What that product actually does, it's actually very good for children or people who suffer from attention deficit hyperintensity disorder, right? As I just said. So it's ADHD. And simply because it actually helps to improve one's retention and your attention span. It's called Cerebral Formula. Optimizer also helps very well with that. So I normally use those two. And then you could always add, depending on how your pocket running budget, whatever the case may be, you could actually add the Nerve Restore, which, as I said, we will have in stock, God's willing, from next week, please God.
And could you just repeat the office locations, particularly your South office?
Okay, so the South office is primarily Debe, and that is the corner of Ramsonwood Trace and the SS Erin Main Road in Debe. And of course, the telephone number that you can call. I'll just give you the number for head office, which is Shogunas, and they can direct you to the different offices because we have like about 15 phone numbers. So it would be, unproductive to give you all. So 222-8261. That's 222-8261, as well as 314-9975. That's 314-9975. Keep in mind that 314-9975 number is WhatsApp. So if it is you have a situation where you're looking at getting delivery, which is a service that we do offer, you can actually send the message on the 314-9975 number.
There's another one. What is recommended for someone diagnosed with atopic dermatitis? They're currently using the colloidal silver, the alkagen water, the Santolan digestive balance, recently started drinking liver and kidney teas, rarely eat fast food, but likes a lot of sweets.
Yeah, so that's it. The thing is, one of the major contributors of inflammation in the body is sugar, right? And the thing is, sugar, which we're talking about table sugar, so processed. You're not talking about sugar that you get from fruits, or if it is you eat maybe a dates or some raisins or some nuts or some kind of thing like that. Those are the foods that you want because you always want sugar to be accompanied in its natural state with fiber. which is normally how most sugars come in nature. The thing is, when you use sugar, so sweets, those are you who like the fudge and the donuts and the soft drinks, and that's a processed sugar. And the thing is, you're going to get the sugar, it is high glycemic. So as a result of that, it causes a lot of spiking where your body now has to produce high amounts of insulin. And then you're actually putting yourself in a situation to be pre-diabetic or end up diabetic. So, you know, I know you may have a sweet tooth, but try and use maybe dark chocolate. So when you're looking at dark chocolate, you use the one that is maybe 80%. So it's a little more on the bitter taste as opposed to sweet, much healthier. Use things like your dates. When you're doing your salads, you can actually do salads and put like a little grapes in it, some apple, a little raisins, plenty bush. But you're going to get a balance there. And that's what you need to do. You need to balance, especially when you're dealing with children as well. Because you don't want children to be using, when you introduce children to that high amount of sugar at an early age, you are basically creating a diabetic child. Right? And you're going to end up with a child that has diabetes early on. And of course, God forbid, they can be put on insulin. And then you have to understand development for a child that is put on insulin very early, especially if it's a male child. He's going to have a lot of developmental problems from genitals, mental health, eye health, everything. You're not going to have a proper healthy adult. You're going to end up with a very sick adolescent. And if they live long enough, you're going to end up with a very sick adult. They're not going to live maybe 50, 60. They're not going to reach that age. They're going to die, and they're going to die very young. And they're going to have a complicated life where they have problems with the kidneys, the liver. People who end up complicated most of the time are two types of people. You know? You either was very hardened and disgusting and didn't listen to any advice and eat and drink everything, or your doctor just led you down the road, a wrong road. You know, my great-grandmother always said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And there are a lot of people who on a road that you didn't end up really in a good place because the road was paved with good intentions. You went to the doctor put you on insulin. You don't put people on insulin immediately. I mean, in an emergency, the blood sugar is very high. Well, we have no choice in the matter. You're going to be put on insulin, but it's supposed to be something that is monitored, and you're supposed to be given some sort of diet. You have to go to a dietitian, hopefully a good one, because a lot of these we have, they just put people on some foolish diet, which doesn't make any sense in my opinion. Because if you're looking to combat diabetes and you're looking to maintain a proper blood sugar level, your diet has to have least amount of sugar, least amount of rice, no potato, none. I'm not even debating that with you. None. You do not want any white potato in your diet. You do not want it. The glycemic index in that is too high, and it is going to either exacerbate your diabetes or make it worse. Well, which basically is what exacerbate means, right?
All right. So, okay. So here's another question for you. Following a work injury,
right?
Second opinions suggest chronic pain syndrome,
right?
Progressing to fibromyalgia,
right?
Medications recommended: Nortesic, Celebrex, Canadine, Neurobion for very recent, as in last week, Cymbalta. But the side effects stated by both the doctor and the pharmacist have left me very concerned. And even though I was told to purchase 1 week supply, I have not tried it just yet. Can you advise or share any recommendations regarding this condition? Yeah, definitely. You need to make a trip to Batson and Associates. There's only, out of everything you call there, I only agree with one thing, and that's the Neurobion Forte, which we know is a B vitamin. So let me say this very quickly. You need, once you're dealing with inflammatory response based on a work injury, and the inflammatory response is now concentrated in the muscular, the musculoskeletal system and the central nervous system, it means you need to address those root systems. So you're looking at silver with mineral formula. You need to get an inflammation formula. If your hydration is poor, so if you're not drinking your body weight divided by 2 ounces in water, you need to start and do that for a month. Then inflammation formula, silver with mineral formula. You need to get a good omega-3. You don't need 369, just 3. And I will also recommend there's a product that we use, the Optimizer, and the free radical scavenger that we have, which you could use the Optimizer as well as the Revitalizer. You could also use some joint tea and circulation tea. And I'm telling you, you do that, I may have to recommend a chiropractor for you depending on what reports you bring first, whether you have a CT scan, MRI, ultrasound, whatever the case may be. And in about 2-3 months, you will be good, man.
Your diet, you want complex carbohydrates, so more provision. I would suggest you lean more to fish, leave out chicken, beef, anything like that out of the diet for a while to lessen the inflammation. No soft drinks, no juice, water, teas, and it will be all right. Okay? So, sorry, you go ahead.
All right, so here's another one that coming in fast and furious for you today. What can you recommend for sciatica pain other than painkillers?
Well, the thing is sciatic pain, which is not a difficult thing to deal with. We know what sciatica is. Sciatica is basically a compression of the sciatic nerve in the spine, and it is called sciatica. Usually people with sciatica have pain that usually radiates down the legs, is usually left side associated. So usually the left side of the body. Once you're dealing with any back situation, any spinal problem, you need to deal with it in two ways. You need to deal with it from a physical manipulative process. So whether you're looking at massage, you're looking at physiotherapy, you're looking at a good chiropractor. I always recommend a good chiropractor above physiotherapist. And I'm not saying that the physiotherapist is not good, but what a chiropractor could do, a physiotherapist could never do. I guarantee you that. And then what you need to do now, you need to deal with so you're dealing with the alignment situation, but you also need to now give your musculoskeletal system substances from a nutritional perspective that is going to help it to heal and to recuperate itself. And that is where you're looking at things like joint tea. You're looking at things like your silver with your mineral formula. You're looking at your There's a product we carry at Batson Associates called Inflammation Formula, which was done by yours truly. And the reason why I did that product is because I found I was getting a lot of arthritis patients. So everybody coming at me, Dr. Batson, I have pain in my head, my neck. And when you use that, what it does, it reduces the inflammatory response, but it also feeds the bones. Because you have to understand that your bones are living, like everything in the body. And your bones require proper circulation and proper nutrition. So once we do that, you end up with healthier bones. Any people who end up doing hip replacement and knee replacement, I feel very sorry for you guys, because a lot of the times you get a 6x9 where you end up now in more pain and worse off than you was because they go and put steel and bolt and nut and you're not a car. Why it is you want to put on? I mean, if you end up in an accident and no choice in the matter, well then God forbid. But you can't take a good proper working knee and do that. You need to get proper nutrition to correct that situation.
299-4103, we're almost through the show this morning. What can you recommend for piles?
Okay, piles. So someone who has piles is an indication that you have poor circulation in the small and large intestines. Usually it is upper intestinal as well as lower intestinal. So it means you need more fiber in your diet, which I'm sure you would have heard before. Santulan has helped a lot of people with that situation. Because of course Santulan is a 7-channel detox, kidney, colon, bloodstream, liver, lymphatic system, skin and your lungs. So it usually helps with easier bowel movement and bringing back gastrointestinal balance. Digestive Restore is also a product that we carry. We carry Digestive Balance. Those two can also help. Sitz baths work. A sitz bath is where you take warm water in a basin and you have to sit in it. Usually you put like a tablespoon of Epsom salts and you put a tablespoon of baking soda. And you put it in warm water and you usually sit in it for anywhere between 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and you do that 3 times a week. What that's going to help is going to help to improve the circulation and bring back the blood vessels, some level of improving the circulation. And once you do that over a period of time, try and keep the diet a lot of fiber, drink a lot of water, then that situation would improve. We also carry the silver with mineral formula gel, which people usually use to apply on the wound itself, and that actually helps in improving that situation.
Here's another question for you. Do you have any products, or what can you recommend for people who snore loudly?
Jesus. The thing is, that is usually, because the lungs still helps. We can actually clean your whole respiratory system, a cleanse. Usually people who snore, in some cases, have a weight situation. Some people have what is known as sleep apnea. Because usually if you have a very big stomach, when you lie down, because of the weight of the stomach, it actually closes in the diaphragm, and as a result of that, it causes problems to breathe. So the air passage is not clear. So as a result of that, you have problems, like you're choking and that type of thing. So there are things that we carry for that, to help with the weight loss and that type of thing. But that would require some sort of consultation, even if it is you do not get an appointment, because I know appointment is very difficult to get with yours truly. But definitely we can rectify that at least in the interim, until you get a consultation. All right? So I know our time is very close, so let me quickly say, you could give us a call on 222-8261 or 314-9975. Please check out our Facebook page, Batson & Associates Limited, Instagram, Batson & Associates TT, YouTube, Batson & Associates Trinidad, and you can get all the information you need to get there. As we always say at Batson & Associates, if you think health is expensive, try sickness. If you think education is expensive, try ignorance. Always a pleasure, 103.1. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. God bless. Karen, always a pleasure to be in your company. I missed you last time. Not too much, slight, but you know.
All right. Well, I know I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes.
I missed all your buffing, so it's Westford to me.
Definitely.
All right, so you've been listening to a special program brought to you by Batson and Associates, supporting health and actually Dr. Jason Batson, time on 103-1137.
Yes, Facebook. So always a pleasure to be in your company. Our Instagram posts. Let me see if I have any. I'll just maybe take like about 2 or 3 questions on Facebook. Miss Pat Ashton says, good morning. Good morning to you. Miss Jacqueline Rogers Blackman. Dr. Batson, what number do I call to put through an order? I have been calling yesterday, but not getting through. Yesterday was really, really busy. Usually Wednesday is very busy in Shagona, so I know the phones was terrible. What you could do, you could WhatsApp the 314-9975 number, and they would be able to attend to you. Okay? Miss Shanti Ramrupa, good morning to you. Miss Annie Grant. Miss Pamela Moses, a pleasant good morning to you, my dear. Someone is saying, yes, the inflammation formula really works. That was Miss Amy Grant. She said the inflammation formula worked. Miss Pinky Pinks, a pleasant good morning to you. Miss Joan Grant, good morning to all, and a special good morning to Mr. Batson. Have a blessed day and be safe. Thanks so very much. Miss Diana Samuel, I need that for my daughter. Okay. I don't know if it's the inflammation formula or which product you're referring to. Good. Miss Annette Robinson, a pleasant good morning to you. She is in New York, Harlem. Miss Joan Garcia, good morning to all. Also, Miss Anna Maria, pleasant good morning to you. Miss Marsha Joseph, good morning, doctor. Can you recommend anything for sciatica pains other than painkillers? Right, so I covered that. The inflammation formula, that special omega we use with the astaxanthin in it, that actually helps. It works really good for pain. Really, really good. Miss Cindy Hoyt, good morning to you. She says good morning to Dr. Batson and the team. Miss Gail Natalie Calendar, pleasant good morning to you. Miss Bonnie Bruzoya, okay, Miss Bonnie. I'm watching the surname there, and so you'll go with that. Miss Bonnie, good morning to you. Miss Alison Morris Haaland, good morning to you, my dear. June Jatan, hey, always a pleasure. I know you always locked on. Pleasant good morning to you. Miss Celine John Baptiste, good morning, Dr. Batson. Does your office provide this service, hair mineral testing? No, we do not do hair mineral testing as yet. It's actually something that I'm contemplating introducing when we finish our diabetic situation, because we're trying to improve that. So that's something we would most likely introduce coming up to the end of the year, God's willing. Okay, Instagram, let me look to you guys over here. Dr. Batson, I have a friend who had thyroid surgery years ago. Can anything be done for her instead of taking steroids for the rest of her life? Of course, there are a lot of things you could do. If she did a thyroidectomy where she removed the entire thyroid, if she also removed the parathyroid as well, there would be substances that she would have to use to get things like L-tyrosine and that type of thing, but not necessarily steroids. So a supplemental protocol is going to have to be designed in order to address that. All right, so someone is taking Santulan right now. Good, I'm glad to hear that. So keep in mind, I am going to be on Akashvani, which is a 106.5 FM, and I'm going to be on that program from 12:15. I don't know if we have 30 minutes or 45 minutes, because I had missed. Yeah, I missed last week's program, and I was supposed to have a 45-minute program. So I don't know how we would do that. It would either be 45 minutes or or 30 minutes. Okay. What should a diet be like for atopic dermatitis? This is the last question I will take. An individual who have atopic dermatitis, you need to stay away from inflammatory. So no soft drink, ideally no juice, no purchased juice. If you're doing like maybe blends like your pawpaw and pineapple, you're doing your own juice, well then that's not necessarily a problem. Keep in mind the fiber content. I don't suggest you juice, but you actually blend. You know, there are some very fancy osterizers now that are able to blend up everything so you retain the roughage, which is very important in the diet. Excuse me. That's something that you could look at. I would definitely recommend the silver and the mineral formula, which we carry at Batson and Associates. I will also recommend the advanced chlorophyll, which we also carry at Batson and Associates, and that could also help in those situations. Okay. And last question: is there anything that you could use to reduce your prolactin levels? Well, usually women who have high prolactin levels usually suffer from hormonal imbalance. So your endocrine system needs to be addressed. Your gastrointestinal system is also most likely out of balance. You may have some leaky gut there. So we need to look at things like Santulan, the Alkagen water. You need things like the digestive balance. The pro digestive is also good as well. And what again, boy? A free radical scavenger, so optimizer, or maybe the alpha that we carry, and you will get some good results with that. We also have women's formula, very good product as well for addressing hormonal imbalance in women. Okay, so always a pleasure to be with you guys. You could always join me, those of you who have time, or let somebody know for that program, on Akashvani, which is 106.5 FM, and we start that program from 12:15 with Miss Kamala Ramnan. All right, so that's 106.5 FM, which is part of Guardian Media. So God bless you guys. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday until either this afternoon or next week, and we will see. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.